Hello everyone, welcome to Lighthouse Stamping with Lorraine. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Vancouver, Washington. Thank you for joining me today. Before we get started, the housekeeping notes. All the product I'm using and all the dimensions are listed below. There's a link to my online store if you wish to purchase any of these products. There is my email address if you'd like to send me an email and get more information about Stampin' Up! Or having a party. And remember to like, share, and subscribe and help me grow in YouTube world. Today we're going to be playing with a suite that's in the annual catalog. It is called Kintsugi Inspirations. It's on page 58, 59, and 60. And it's a really pretty set. I did not buy it when the catalog first came out, and I just got it this last month. Anyhow, there's stamps, dies, an embossing folder, some bling, and some DSP, and I'm going to show you all that. I'm going to go through it pretty quickly because I'm sure many of you have seen this. So, beautiful stamp set. Just love it. And I'm going to tell you right now, thanks for helping me through this difficult time. Has been done, removed surgically. I have separated the two. My first card I used the whole thing, but the next one I decided I just wanted to use thanks. So I have just literally cut, you can cut it straight across with your snips and it's perfect. So I have dissected mine. I'm going to put this piece back because I will use it again, but I didn't want that particular part of that sentiment on this thanks card, thank you card. So sometimes you don't want something like that, or I could just went to another set and found thanks, but I dissected it. And the dies, they're really cute. These you can cut them out of gold, and it makes the fracture lines, or you can stamp and emboss these too as well. We're not going to do that. We're going to keep the card pretty simple today. We've got some flower dies and the bowls and stuff. We'll come look at these dies in a minute again. And then we have some gold. And I used these the last week. They're the flower accents. I couldn't remember what set they came from. It's this one. But they're very beautiful. And then there is this embossing folder, which is joined together 3D embossing folder. Now, this process is a Japanese process. I'm going to mess it up. I'm going to go back into the book on page 60, I believe. It says, Kintsugi is a traditional Japanese technique of repairing broken pottery with gold lacquer that makes the gold vines become a celebration of imperfection instead of hiding it. So right there on that page explains what this process is. And there's some great ideas here as well. So rather read it than try to explain it. But this represents that technique in the paper. So, and then we've got plain, this is petal pink with flowers. We got some gold on some beige. We have gold flowers. You see that? It's really pretty. This one's got a little bit of everything in it, which I like. This is on white. Then there's this piece. Now, some people would say this is the magic piece. It is. So do we come back to those dies? That cuts out all the large pots. This cuts out all the small pots. And this one cuts out all the flowers. You could go to town with this piece of paper and have make a lot of different color combinations. And in the cards, you'll see the first card I made, and I picked out different colors for the second card. So that's what I call the magic sheet. It's where you don't have to work. You could stamp them and stuff, which I will do eventually here. But today I decided I just wanted to dive in and play a little bit with this set. So what we're making is, I'm keeping it pretty simple. This just has a little bouquet of flowers in there in petal pink. So it's very light. This is the first one I made. It's on Basic Beige with, I can't remember what color is in there. It's Misty Moonlight. I couldn't remember what color that was all of a sudden. So the colors in here are Basic Beige, Cloud Cover, Lost Lagoon, Misty Moonlight, Old Olive, Petal Pink, and of course Gold. I don't want to lose that. That's the label for my paper since it's not on the bag, on the back of the thing. But anyhow, I used Basic Beige and I embossed this piece here. Die cut these 3 pieces, put some gold on. Did a little stamping on the inside. So now we're going to change the color combinations. So I think the first thing we need to do is emboss this piece. I have die cut all of the vases out. So you're going to need, this is a 3D, so you're going to need plate 1 and plate 4, which is the dark gray one. And you're going to need a piece of basic beige that is 3.5 by 4 3/4. And what I did is I put it more towards the flower area here than this is the zigzag and there's more flowers up here. I put it more to the top. But you can put it wherever you want in the embossing folder to get the picture you want. Pull that out with nothing on it. It's just gorgeous. So let's get auto out of our way. I don't know why I didn't emboss that beforehand. I didn't. Okay, so let's do some stamping and build our card. Besides this piece, we need an envelope, of course. See the colors we're going to be using in this one. We need a piece of white that is 4 by 5 1/4. We need a piece of Petal Pink that is 3 3/4 by 5. And your Basic Beige is 8.5 by 5.5. So let me do that. Let's go ahead and put these on right now since we can. And then we'll do some stamping. So I'm going to put this. That's the deboss side. That's the deboss side. This is the emboss. This is the emboss side. This is the debossed. I actually like the debossed as well. But we'll do it the way it came out of the thing, the right way. You could use either side though. Remember, using embossing folders, you want to use some strong adhesive so it doesn't pop off. And I know a lot of other demonstrators, I have seen them use seal, but if you live somewhere where there's a good humidity, the seal will not hold it on there. So if you don't live anywhere where you have a lot of humidity, then go for it. So that's the Petal Pink on the beige. We'll go ahead and just mount this on here now. Like I said, I was keeping this one fairly simple. Just wanted to change the color scheme. Now this has a big border. I'm looking at my grid to make sure I've got everybody pretty well lined up. All right, so let's do some stamping. And if you notice, there is no verse on the front of my card. There is no law that says there has to be a verse on the front of your card. And I thought that card was so pretty without a verse, I didn't want to put one on. So I didn't. If you feel it's necessary to have a verse on the front of your card, you go for it. It's your card. But we're going to start with Lost Lagoon, and we're going to stamp the thanks in Lost Lagoon. This is the one I surgically removed from the other half of the sentiment. And that's it for Lost Lagoon. And then we're going to grab Petal Pink and our little cluster of flowers here. And I'm going to put one in this corner. I'm going to flip it around and put another cluster in that corner. And then on the envelope, I'm going to just put a little cluster down here in the corner. And that is the end of the stamping. Like I said, I was keeping this card very simple. I'm going to go ahead and put the inside in. You know, sometimes a simple card is the way to go. I know I go sometimes and do these big elaborate fun folds with all this stuff on there, but sometimes simple's nice. And this particular style really goes really well with simple. We got that. So now we got these, and we're going to put them on with dimensionals. And I'm going to sort of stagger this like this, and then this will drop in here like this, just like I did on the first one. So I'm going to pull these around this way. This corner here, I'm going to put some seal on. And I've got to grab some dimensionals. There we go. I'll put a little seal over here in a minute. That should be enough. Start with this one. I'm actually going to grab my seal real fast. I'm getting all these ready because I want them to sort of in the center. I need to pull this one in so I can sort of judge where I'm going. That looks pretty good. Try to make sure that's straight. And that one's straight. And then I'll commit. And then I'll put a couple dimensionals on this. Like I said, this is a fast card. Once you sit down and cut out all your vases. I haven't cut them all out. I only cut out a few. I'm going to turn him at that angle slightly. And then I'm just going to finish this up with some gems. I'm going to use a large one down here. And I'm going to put two small ones up here. Like I said, I was keeping this very simple. So that's the card for today. I think it's beautiful. So this is using Petal Pink and Lost Lagoon. And this is using Basic Gray and Misty Moonlight with just a touch of the other two colors there on the flower. So there is endless combinations you can make with this particular design if you start cutting out all of the lovely pictures. So bring this in. You got old olive, more tall basic beige. You got blue. You could put blue in this one. I mean, the combinations could go on. You could have a blast. And the designs are different. This is not the same design as this. Or you could use two small vases. One's this way, or use two of these. You could have a lot of fun doing this one. I know I'm going to try a couple other combinations. I think it's very pretty. So thank you for joining me today, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.